Banks have a pivotal role to play in helping allocate capital towards the transition to a low-carbon economy. In fact, one of the central aims of the Paris Agreement is to make financial flows consistent with pathways towards low greenhouse gas emissions and climate resilience. Banks have been on a journey over the last few years to embed climate-related risks and set net zero targets. Although many firms have done some employee training, only a few have done this strategically and at scale. Firms need to make this a top management priority and invest in training across the whole organization to build robust climate capabilities. This will enable them to effectively manage climate risk and monetize the commercial opportunities that the transition to a low-carbon world offers. Through our work supporting some of the largest financial institutions to build their climate capabilities, we recommend banks now focus on 5 key activities.
Firms need to consider training as a longer-term exercise that requires a cultural shift. Climate training is not a once-and-done exercise, but rather a longer, more intensive journey to embed climate into teams, processes, and systems across the entire organisation. This requires more than a few off-the-shelf modules. Learning needs to be designed in a way that is impactful, valuable, and inspires teams with a variety of training modules, on-the-job learning, and practical tools and frameworks.
Capabilities need to be defined across the entire organization. This requires a thorough capability gap analysis to assess the difference between the current skill levels of key learner groups and their required level of knowledge. Tailored learning pathways should then be designed for each learner group, which cater to different levels of proficiencies and cover a wide range of subjects, from net zero and climate risk to sustainable finance and ESG.
Educating and upskilling senior management and board members on climate and sustainability is a vital step for embedding climate into the organisation. After all, sustained change needs to be driven and reinforced by senior leaders so that employees are empowered to walk the talk. Learning should include tailored case studies that take into consideration the bank's specific context. Insights from external speakers can be a good way to enhance the learning experience and increase impact.
The frontline requires special attention for climate training. They have a unique role to play by engaging with clients, which is a key requirement for banks to manage their climate risk exposure, meet their net zero commitments, and position themselves as the transition partner of choice. Bankers need to be equipped with the knowledge, skills, and tools to have meaningful client conversations through sector-specific training designed and delivered by climate and sector experts who understand the impacts of climate change on the real economy.
Risk teams require specific knowledge to enable them to manage the bank's climate risk exposure. To build this level of expertise, training module topics should include new risk operating models, climate risk data and methodologies, scenario modelling, sector-specific knowledge, climate policy and regulation, and climate risk reporting and disclosures. Training should also include a period of on-the-job training to allow teams to perform new processes and use the tools and frameworks with additional support in the form of individual and group coaching.
We've designed and delivered learning pathways to more than 20,000 people in the front office and risk functions, helping to embed climate across business and risk and control functions.